So my digital resource for this topic for this portfolio was done on SolidWorks. So we can see here on the right hand side, I just have a layered solution of a question on a SolidWorks drawing, and we can see it down here on the bottom right as well. But first, up top left is just a question that I drafted. So it's the same question, but it's manually drafted using set squares, compass, our pencils, and our T-squares on paper. So when students will be doing this, it'll be handy for students. We'll say first questions, couple of questions to draw them out. Normally, they are as they normally would on your paper with your drawing tools. But then, for with the digital resource, could be quite more beneficial to the students, as with the layered solutions, they can hide different lines, they can show different lines, they can go through it step by step, and they'll have it for again, like, you know, back revising over. It could be handy that step by step, just looking at key principles or trying to figure out how to do the drawing again. So, moving on to the drawing here now in SolidWorks digital resource. So we can see I have the completed drawing. We have our plan, elevation, and view. We have an isometric down here, and we have the development. So the question is fully completed here. And with the layers here now, I'm just going to hide all of them, and we'll start from scratch, and we will work through the drawing. So this is how it'll be presented to the students. Now I know the development on the right hand side, they'll have to make that themselves. But if they make the 3D model on SolidWorks like I done, they can just bring it in, which will be a lot quicker to do. It'll save them just drawing out all the different views of the development. So starting off with this drawing, after all this has been drawn, the first step that the students will do is they'll divide up their circle into however many parts they're told or they need. So for this, I divided up 60-30, so we have 12 different sections on our plan view, on our circle. So you can see this question is going from rectangle, our transition piece is going from rectangle to a circle. So once we've that done, then with triangles, we join them back to our corners down here. So each strand is going back. Now, this question, the way I drew it, had a curve on it, so these are actually just going back. I've been hidden, they're going back to the corner here. So when they've that drawn a plan, they bring their lines up to elevation. So we bring up this line and this line straight up and join it back to the corner, and that's it, completed in elevation. So after that, then we must label our drawings so we know not to get confused as we move on with the question. So here we've labeled in our circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, and so on, and then we have the corners labeled A, B, C, and D. So this would be handy so we know when we're going from 1, it's 1 to C or D1, then we have 2C, 3C, 4C, and 4B, and so on. It'll just be easier when we get to development if we have it labelled now, and it'll be easier to follow. So when we're this far, the next step is it's rebatment. So I mentioned rebatment in the previous pages in the portfolio, and this is where we're going to find our true lengths for the lines in elevation. So for this, we extend out our line. So this is the corner piece that I was on about. So we extend out our line, then from 4, 3, 2, and 1, so we can see the same arc contains 4 and 2 and 1. So we're setting up our compass. Point C is our point of rotation. So we're rotating around until we hit the horizontal line here with the 3 with our compass or the circle tool on this. We're bringing them vertically up until they hit this horizontal line, which is our height line that we brought out from elevation. So where these lines hit the horizontal line, from our corner, we bring them out to where they cross, or to where they hit the vertical line and back into our corner. So let's see if our three lines from the vertical lines up, they're brought back into our corner. Now these lines are our true length lines. So after that then, we're moving on to the development. So with the development, so we've our development drawn, we've it labelled as so it's matching up. So we see here we've D to 1, our point C should be there somewhere. So my point C has gone, was there earlier. So I'm just going to throw it in here now in my correct. Check my layers to see. Construction 4 is the ones for my labeling, so I'm going to turn them back on. Go note, this is C, and this is B. Okay, so that's that done. So sorry about that. So back to where we were. So to find our triangles in our development now, what we're going to have to do is, so the distance from these lines, so between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, we're going to go into sketch. Alright, so we're going to sketch. So this is the distance here. So we can see this circle is containing points 2 and 4. So what we're going to do out here is smart dimension. So that's 47.93. We're going to leave that there for a second. So from here, and we're going to dimension it. Why won't we smart dimension? So 47.93. So that's our small circle setup, and how we're going to find the second line of it is by doing this. So we'll take, we're trying to find point 2 here. So point 2 is rotated around, and it's our second line here. So we're going to smart dimension this line, which is that dimension there. So it's 226.08. So from point C, we are going to draw our circle out at any radius. You'll be doing this with a compass if it's on a sheet, and we will dimension it. This is frozen again now. So now we can see, anyhow, sorry, we can see when we went from point C with our arc, with that distance, it crossed over 2 points. So the two arcs meet will give us our point. I'm going to show it here now. So that's it. So that gives us our point of one of our triangles, and we do the same procedure for all of them. So we're just taking the distance, marking it off, scribing it with the second one, and scribing it again. So I'm going to delete these two now. I have to get out of my layers. So we get the gist of it there. So yeah, so that's the triangles in there in our development, which bring it from a rectangle to a circle. So if that was to be folded up, we get the isometric view that is down here. So like I was saying, this drawing the drawing like this, like it's great on paper, but it's students can get confused between all the construction lines, especially when it's all in the one color. So here, being able to draw it in different colors makes it much easier for the students to be able to distinguish between the construction lines. So we can see here we have our triangles here in orange and they're here. So therefore, as you've seen them on plan, is what they're in elevation. We have our abutment and our true lens in one color because they're all the same, off the same for the same thing. And then we have our triangles in the development in a different color. In broken lines because they are construction. And we have the points labeled in a different color. So it's much more beneficial to students if it's done through this, as they're able to go back and hide lines and unhide them and go through it step by step.